they announced they're going to do a women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and a lot of the kind of big women's Evolution moments have taken place on Raw. Sasha and Charlotte did the Hell in a Cell, all that kind of stuff. So they announced there's going to be the women's Money in the Bank. You guys are obviously involved in it, you and Carmella. And then at the end of the match, you end up climbing the ladder, retrieving the briefcase, and throwing it down to Carmella. And I think that there was, and you're going to talk all about it in a second, so it's not me trying to bury you here, but there was a portion of the audience who were like, this is bullshit. You know, women have fought for years and years and years to get something, and the gag now is a guy gets the briefcase. So can you talk through just kind of leading up to it? Was it originally going to be somebody else who won? Was it always going to be Carmella? And how is it eventually pitched to you that you're going to be the guy to take it? And what is your reaction to that?
So, again, we didn't find out any of that until that day. But, like, the day, like, weeks leading up to it, they would practice climbing the ladder and all that. And I remember, like, a week before, they had me practice climbing the ladder and grabbing it. They had everybody do it, including me. So when that happened, I've been watching wrestling my whole life. When that happened, when they had me practice doing that, I remember, and we didn't know the winner at this time, I remember pulling Carmella aside. I said, they're going to have me climb it and give it to you. And she goes, absolutely not. They're not going to have you do that. And she's like, this. And she hasn't been watching wrestling her whole life like I have. And I go, yes, they are. and so the day of, we get there. And I remember John Laurinaitis, I don't think he even knows to this day that I heard him. He was in catering, and I'm in catering too, but I don't think he knew I was behind him listening to him. He's like talking to Sarah Stock, who's another agent there, and he's going, all right, well, Vince wants it to happen. James is going to climb the fucking ladder, and he's going to grab the damn thing. And I like got up catering, and I snuck out. And I find Carmella, and I pull her aside. I said, I found out who's winning and everything. She goes, how? How do you know? Like, what? I was like, well, you're winning. And she's like, no way. I was like, and I'm climbing up the ladder and getting it and giving it to you. And she goes, no, they're not going to do that. And then, like, it's a real cool thing they do. So before the show, nobody knows who's going to win any Money in the Bank match. They, like, not even any of the talent. They put curtains around the ring. So none of the other superstars who aren't involved in the match can see you going over the finish. So the other girls that know to this point, so they're going over the rest of the match, and Laurinaitis goes, then Becky power bombs Carmella off the ladder, and she's climbing the ladder, and James comes in and pushes the ladder over, and Becky hits her head on the rope and falls down. Then he just stops right there. And then everybody's like looking around, and like to this point, they're still not thinking I'm going up there again. They're thinking I'm gonna help Carmella up and help her up the ladder. And then he goes, and then James goes up the ladder, grabs the briefcase, and hands it down to her. And they said it was a Vince McMahon idea, and that like everybody was against it at the meetings. That like they would go, like he would go, I think James should grab it and give it to her, and everybody's like, no, this is the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match. You can't do that. And Vince goes, God damn it, no, that's why you do it.
And what's the reaction with the rest of the with the women? I was going to say the rest of the women in the match. What was the reaction for them? Because they must have, were they gutted? Or did they kind of understand it as what it is? Like what was their reaction when you guys are kind of trying to still go over stuff before the match?
Well, the good thing is, like, I had a very good relationship with all those girls there. Like, I got along with each and every one of them. There was not one of them I didn't get along with. So I think since it was me, like, and they all got along with me and liked me, like, they didn't care as much and they understood it. And then they did tell us after that, but there's going to be another women's Money in the Bank match in a couple of weeks where they're, like, James won't be involved in grabbing the briefcase. So they knew there was going to be a second one. We knew right there that day, before the match ever happened, that there was going to be a second one. So that's why I don't think any of them it never bothered any of them, those two reasons. Number one, they all got along with me. And number two, they knew there was going to be another one.
Did it worry you about the reaction though? Because you're kind of running WWE had all been predicated on you, this underdog, you're the lovable guy that's kind of made it, and on the screen, you're the guy responsible for fucking up the women's evolution, essentially. How do you feel about it? Or do you kind of go, do you know what? Vince wants it, I'm going to do it.
Well, it's weird, man. So if you go back and you watch the video of it going down, like, as soon as I look up at the briefcase and I look at the crowd, they start doing the Daniel Bryan, yes, yes, yes. And as soon as I start climbing the ladder, they're getting louder and louder. As soon as I grab it, they pop. Like, and as soon as I dropped it to her, that's when they dropped. They started booing. I think they wanted me to grab the damn thing, go down the ladder, and take off with it. I think that's what they want. Where I think I'm the winner. I have the money back. I think that's what the fans like. You know that, and then you have the second Money in the Bank ladder match because this doesn't count. You know, but as soon as I dropped it to her, that was your heat. Like, no, he climbed the ladder and like literally just handed it to her, and I thought it was great. Like, I embraced the heat. Like, I was already this like huge baby face on WWE, so now like I accomplished that. You know, so now I'm this like huge heel. Like, now I get to run with this, is what I initially thought.
And then when you come back through the curtain, what's the reaction like? Are people like, oh, this is brilliant? Or is Andy kind of like, oh, for fuck's sake? What's the reaction?
Oh, no, Vince loved it. He's hugging all the girls, and like, Vince, like, he liked to rip me, just play with me. He's like hugging all the girls. That was great. And he gets to me, and he goes, well, I'm not going to hug you, but I'm going to give you a big damn handshake. And like shakes my hand. And he loved it, and it accomplished what it needed to accomplish. So the week after on SmackDown, they did a rematch, and it drew a big rating. So Vince, he's a mad genius, man. Like, he knew if we did that, it would create that controversy, and people would pay attention to it. And they did, and SmackDown drew a really good rating for that second women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Was there a concern between the when it happens and then the second match of like, because there was a lot of social media buzz of people being really angry about it and kind of saying that it took a step back before the second one. Did you get worried at any point about it, or did you think once the second match has happened, they'll be fine?
Yeah, that exactly. I thought once the second match happens, this is kind of be on the back burner. But really, like, nobody remembers the second one. Like, they all remember the first one. And the second one, I still helped her win. Like, I came through the crowd. I helped her get in the ring. I helped her get herself together. And, and then I tried to, like, grab it again. And Becky pushed the ladder and, like, hit my nuts on the ropes, which there's no faking that. That hurts. And then Carmella, like, hits her with, like, Becky goes to climb the ladder, and Carmella hits her with a chair, and she initially she grabs it. So it's funny. I still helped her win, but you know, so like I think everyone backstage, she's the one grabbing it. So now it's okay, even though I still helped her win the match. But like, it's just kind of one of those things where like no one remembers the second one. They all still talk about the first one.